Hi, my name is Iboya Pasley. I have 3 children. They're 2, 4, and 6. I live in Sparta. My husband's a teacher at the high school. I'm originally from the Netherlands, and the Netherlands stopped putting fluoride in the water since 1973. For the same reason, people protested, they didn't want it, and the government listened. I've traveled a lot to the United States. I took a Greyhound bus from New York to Wyoming, and I noticed that sometimes people's teeth were not so good as I expected here. And then I talked to people, and most people said, well, you know, I haven't been to the dentist in 4 years, or because it was so expensive. And in Holland, it's part of our healthcare system, so people go every 6 months, and I think maybe that's the reason why we have good teeth, even though there's no fluoride in the water. So having lived in these 2 places, from my personal experience, can say it's all about going to the dentist. Like, if we want to take care of our people here, we should try to help them go to the dentist every 6 months, and people will have good teeth. When I go to the grocery store and I buy things for my children to eat, I always look, no artificial flavoring, no artificial coloring, no artificial preservatives. I just don't want that stuff in their body. I don't think it's good for them or necessary. So I've noticed that over the years, packages will say now, no artificial flavoring, no artificial coloring, that this is not like the organic section in the grocery store. This is big companies, you know, advertising with this, and I really think they're doing it because they realize we don't want it, or maybe they're afraid that it is harmful. I don't know. I think if I look around me, that this is 2010. We're trying to make cleaner cars. We're trying to take chemicals out. We're not putting chemicals in these days. So something I noticed, and I went to the dentist 2 weeks ago, and I asked him about the fluoride issue, and he's an older man, and he said, you know, he's in support, and I said, well, I'm having an issue with it, so that was all okay, and I went home, and he sent us a package with all kinds of articles, and I looked at it, and in the back, you can look at it, but it says all the sources, and they're from 1916, 1930, 1928, and I just wonder, you know, if we ask people now, the professionals or the health department, you know, what are their sources, what are they looking at? Because I really feel like we here have really studied it, and we've looked at research that's recent. You know, I know they've done research in upstate New York about 2 cities, fluoridated water, not fluoridated. No difference in people's teeth. I mean, this research is being done, and I ask you, if you ask professionals for their opinion, to really keep in mind how well have they researched this, and are they getting information from people that have an interest in fluoride, and how does this whole system work? I don't know, but I would ask you to just keep that in mind, and also keep us in mind that we're here not to make anybody mad, or we really care. You know, we're worried. And we researched this, and my other question is, like, once this, well, I shouldn't even say this is going to happen, but what is the money involved for us? You know, like, is it going to be expensive? Is there insurance if something goes terribly wrong? The transport, I haven't heard anything about that. Like, I know we've gotten a grant, but what are the costs? We haven't heard anything about that. And also I'd like to know, what if we do get our water from Virginia and we would split it? Can we just get the water without the fluoride, and they get the water with the fluoride? So these are just some questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Lujean Keepfer, and I live here in Sparta. I'm here, of course, to express my concerns on the issue of water fluoridation. The Water Authority has decided to medicate all of us, whether we like it or not. Before they made this decision, we were not given a chance to voice our concerns. Over the last 10 months, after hearing of the Water Authority's plan to fluoridate our drinking water, I have dedicated countless hours to researching fluoride. And because of what I've learned, I'm here before you tonight as a mother and a deeply concerned citizen. I'm not standing here because it's fun. I'm not standing here because I don't have something better to do. I'm here because I am alarmed and offended at the attempt to medicate us against our will. There is no debate that there is a threshold upon which fluoride is not only dangerous but deadly. What exactly is that threshold? Supposedly the optimum level of fluoride in water is 1 part per million. Well, how much fluoridated liquid can a grown person drink at 1 part per million and still be safe? How much can a small child drink and still be safe? How much can different people with different health problems drink and still be safe? Who in this room knows how much fluoride-laced water is too much? How much is too much for you? Are you aware that even two of fluoride's biggest proponents, the American Dental Association and the Center for Disease Control, agree that baby formula should not be mixed with fluoridated water? Babies should not drink fluoridated water, period. This information is not mentioned on the cans of formula. So are you, as a member of the town council, going to be responsible for calling every new parent in this community to say, congratulations, and by the way, don't let your baby drink our water? My husband works outside. He works very hard. He works rain or shine, night or day, in the cold and in the heat. This past summer, during the hottest days, he drank up to 2 gallons of water a day just to stay hydrated. How much is too much for him? Do you realize if he drank 2 gallons of water fluoridated at 1 part per million, in one day he would ingest more fluoride than is in this tube of toothpaste? One day. If someone swallows more than a pea-sized amount of the toothpaste, you're supposed to call Poison Control Center. Are you going to call my husband and others like him who consume incredibly large amounts of water and say, Mr. Keepfer, you've ingested your optimum amount of fluoride today, so please don't drink any more of our water? My son Terry, he works at Magnolia, and in their factory they use humidifiers. These humidifiers are constantly pumping moisture into the air as part of the manufacturing process. For 12 hours a day, my son will be forced to breathe in immeasurable amounts of fluoride-laced air. It'll also be absorbed into the pores of his skin. If he continues to work there, there'll be absolutely no way for him to avoid it. This is in addition to any exposure he'll receive at home. Are you going to call my son at work and say, Terry, you better go home because you've been overexposed to too much fluoride today? It is your duty and it is within your power as a town council member to protect your family, friends, and neighbors. Please do not sit still and say nothing while our rights are being violated and our health is put in danger. It is your responsibility to do the research and discover why there is so much controversy regarding water fluoridation. If you do your job properly, I am confident you will say no to fluoride. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry. I'm Jim Wyatt. I think it's obvious we've heard a lot of comments on the health side of it. I'd kind of like to appeal to a different way of looking at this. And I'm not an educated man. I graduated high school here and very proud of that. I work at Magnolia. I've been one of their managers for years. And I would like to look at the common sense side of this thing. Okay? When I hear some of this data, it's appalling, but like you, I'm not educated, I'm not studied on it. I don't want to say that you are not, but when I just take it and set it on the table and look at it, here's what I see, okay? I see cost for equipment to add this fluoridation to the water. I see cost to buy this fluoride in the future. I see cost to test the fluoridation, how much we actually put in the system. I see what's supposed to be the gains of it in helping strengthen our people's teeth. Okay? When I look at it, and you see the people that practice dental hygiene and eat just about any food here, they get more than the recommended amount of fluoride that is supposed to help them. Okay? So if you take someone that practices dental hygiene, adding fluoride to them is not going to help them at all. If they do not practice dental hygiene, don't brush their teeth like they should, don't use the mouthwash like they should, fluoride alone is not going to save their teeth. Okay? So, not looking at it scientifically, but looking at it common sense wise from old country boy, where is the game from? I'll leave you with it. Thank you for your time.
I have just a real quick comment. My objection is because if you add the fluoride to the water, you take away people's choice of whether to use it. You can, in addition to all other sources that have been mentioned, you can buy fluoridated water if you want it. I made the choice several years ago not to use it, and I would like to be able to keep the freedom to choose not to use fluoride. But if you put it in our water system, you are literally shoving it down our throats. We have no choice. That's all I was saying. Thank you.
Have anybody else?
I concur with the other speakers. I'm here in opposition to fluoridation of the water. I think public officials have the responsibility to keep the water as pure as possible, and I agree with this lady who just spoke. It should not be forced on us if we oppose it, and certainly the sales of bottled water indicate that people want pure water, and they realize that municipal water in most cases is unfit for human consumption.
My name is Nili Sobers. I don't want the water to be fluoridated. Some people were saying there was these workers at the fluoride factory, and they were all saying, oh, they don't have any cavities. Later, someone looked into it more, and they noticed that none of the people there had any teeth. And if the water's fluoridated, I'm not going to go into any restaurants anymore. Some people might think, well, you're just saying that, you'll still go, but I won't. I mean, I stopped eating at fast food restaurants because of the way they kill their animals, and I'll quickly stop eating at any restaurants if they fluoridate the water.